Rumors are starting to escalate regarding the Toronto Maple Leafs acquiring defenseman Nikita Zadorov from the Calgary Flames. So we're going to break down those recent reports as well as discuss some things indicating that the Leafs are finalists for the Flames defenseman. So you want to stay tuned for all that, as we're also going to discuss some trade packages that have surfaced. So stay tuned. But before we get into that, a quick reminder to hit the subscribe button. We noticed that about 75% of you guys who are watching right now are not subscribed. So scroll down, see if you're subscribed. And if you aren't, hit that button, as we post 1 to 2 Leafs videos every day and have you covered with the latest news. All right, let's get right into the first and main topic of today's video, which is the Nikita Zadorov update. Rumors continue to escalate. The Leafs obviously had a big win the other night against the Vancouver Canucks, and vibes are decent for the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. The third and fourth line was performing. Sammy performed very, very well. But the rumors and reports about Nikita Zadorov keep on coming. And I would not be surprised if a trade occurs sometime in the coming week. So a few different reports to get into. One from Elliotte Friedman and then a couple of more speculative ones. So let's get into this first one from Elliotte Friedman today. And Elliotte Friedman said on his latest 32 Thoughts podcast that following the Tyler Bertuzzi-Nikita Zadorov hit, an unnamed Leaf said to Zadorov, "You're exactly what we need." So we have Leafs players in the middle of a game against the Calgary Flames a couple of games ago going to Zadorov and saying, "You're exactly what we need on the team." And then we all know what happened after that. Immediately after the game, Nikita Zadorov requested a trade via his agent and said he would be willing to come to the Maple Leafs. So this specific report isn't breaking news about, the Leafs inching closer to a trade, but it is news that the Leafs players want the Flames defenseman on the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I would not be surprised if, a lot of these players are going to Brad Treliving and saying, "Hey, we want this guy. He fits exactly what we need perfectly. Get him on the team. Find a way to get him on the team no matter what it costs." And I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. So that's a very, very interesting and pretty funny note that a player went out and said that following the big hit that he had on Tyler Bertuzzi. And he also, of course, had a goal in that game. So he had an unbelievable game. As potentially his last game as a Flame against the Leafs. But this was another report from Elliotte Friedman, and this is the big one. So the Flames don't appear to be in a rush to offload the 28-year-old, but new reports indicate that there is plenty of trade interest in him. And during the latest Saturday headline segment on Hockey Night in Canada, Friedman named both the Canucks and Maple Leafs as teams who have high interest in acquiring Zadorov or Tanev, who also might be available. Now, if you rewind a while ago, about a week ago, so not that long ago, but it seems like forever ago, given all this news and crazy stuff that's went down, you will remember that I made a video on a report from Elliotte Friedman before Nikita Zadorov requested a trade and discussed that Elliotte Friedman talked about how the Leafs could be looking to acquire both Chris Tanev and Nikita Zadorov in a one blockbuster trade. And that continued to surface today or yesterday, whenever this report was, revolving around the Leafs having high interest in acquiring Zadorov and Tanev. And I would not be surprised if Brad Treliving wants to completely rework this Leafs defense, the Leafs blue line, and acquire both of these guys. Both of them are gritty. Both of them are physical. Zadorov obviously is the higher priced guy, but if you're getting Chris Tanev as well, you're getting more grittiness. You're really completely reworking the blue line for the Maple Leafs, which is something that we desperately need and something the Leafs desperately need. Of course, we saw in the last game that the third and fourth line, Nick Robertson, all those guys are starting to, produce well. David Kampf is doing very, very well. Noah Gregor, they're all starting to produce well. If they continue to produce like that and we get a much-needed boost to the blue line, the sky's the limit for this Leafs team, especially if Joseph Woll and Ilya Samsonov continue to play the way they are and continue, to do great things in between the pipes. That being said, we obviously need Joseph Woll to go back to the Joseph Woll of earlier in the season. But putting that aside, if we're able to get these guys, it's so interesting. And it seems the finalists are the Canucks, which is the team the Leafs just beat, and of course the Maple Leafs. And the Canucks have been rumored in the Nikita Zadorov sweepstakes for a long time. Of course, there's going to be a lot of teams in the Zadorov sweepstakes, but I think the Canucks are the biggest threat to the Maple Leafs. They're obviously having a phenomenal year. They could use an upgrade on the blue line, especially in front of Thatcher Demko, who has had an unbelievable season to start the year, as well as the Canucks in general. They've been unbelievable. They beat the Habs last night, dominated them 5-2, which makes sense because they've been playing so well, which is what made that win against them, the Leafs, when they beat the Canucks the other night, that much sweeter because of how good the lines were performing. The third and fourth lines, that is. But again, this is such an interesting report. It seems that the main two teams going for him are the Canucks and the Maple Leafs. And I'm curious to see if they get in a bidding war, what kind of trade packages will be thrown up. Maybe the Leafs had to throw in a pick to, beat out the Canucks offer. Maybe the Canucks throw in a pick to beat out the Leafs offer. Who knows? But just another report saying the Leafs are finalists, and another reporter, I guess a bit of inside intel regarding what Leafs players think about Nikita Zadorov. And I think there's no Leafs player, no Leafs fan that wouldn't want Nikita Zadorov for the right price at this point. We need an upgrade to the blue line, and I would not mind that whatsoever. Now, we're going to get in a couple of more speculation things. This is from Hockey 24/7. I am Hockey. The tweet blew up. I don't think he's credible. I don't think he's gotten anything right in the past or many things right, but I'm just going to mention it because the tweet blew up. It's at Leafs forever close to replying Zadorov for Klingberg and Fraser Minton. Interesting. Let me know. It seems like a pretty light package for Nikita Zadorov. Obviously, Minton's very, very good. He is not with the team right now. He's in the AHL, but I don't know. I don't know if the Flames would do that. And again, a lot of you guys in the comment section, when I brought up a potential trade a couple of days ago, said, why would the Flames want to acquire John Klingberg? I don't know. I'm just throwing out packages that, because no one really knows the value of Nikita Zadorov. We can go out and estimate him, but there's no real telling what it will take to get Zadorov, whether the Canucks are offering tons of picks, tons of prospects, tons of NHL-ready players. As I've said in the past, the Calgary Flames are looking to retool, not rebuild. So if they think the Flames or the Canucks give them a better chance and a better ready now package compared to the Leafs package, they'll probably accept that one. But I just wanted to throw this out there for all you speculative, fans out there. It's always fun to speculate. And we have a few more things. Twitter was kind of blowing up, specifically revolving around packages. And again, I want you to leave your thoughts in the comment section about these packages. I love reading them and discussing with you guys what kind of package we think would be a fair win-win for both teams, because ultimately the Flames have most of the leverage. I know that Zadorov requested a trade, but they still have most of the leverage. He's still under contract for the rest of this year. And we have some people saying, around McMahon prospects, lower tier prospects. Some are saying trading potentially Timothy Liljegren, McCabe. And then the people are also bringing back the Luke Shen stuff. How much more is Zadorov worth than Shen? Shen was playing on Vancouver's top pair and made league minimum. How much more could Zadorov really be worth? And it just goes to show, and I wanted to show you guys this, because who knows how much Nikita Zadorov is really worth? How big is the package going to be? We don't know, but more and more reports are starting to come out that is kind of down to the Canucks and the Flames. Or the Canucks and the Leafs for the Flames defenseman. So I'm curious, in the comment section, let me know, who would you just create the biggest, the most expensive package you would be willing to give up for a rental in Nikita Zadorov. Albeit he said he would love to go to Toronto, so maybe he could re-sign. He is coming from a Canadian team, so it's not a crazy, difference from a U.S. team to a Canada team. I know, some players don't want to come to Canada for whatever reason, the border and things like that, but I don't know, it's interesting. And these are some Zadorov trade comps. So Dursey for a second, Kulak for a second and a seventh, Lazan for a second, Manson for a second and a former second, Edmondson third and seventh, Kulikov third, Gosse a third. So Joel Edmondson's a third and a seventh, which is another interesting thing. I don't know. Who knows? I think it'll be a bit more expensive than this. It could be a mix of, say, a Joel Edmondson type package. So it's third and seventh plus maybe a McCabe, a Liljegren, a prospect like that. It's so hard to know, but these are some comps I wanted to bring up for you all. I think it'll cost a bit more than that. It might not. Again, this is all speculation regarding the actual package, but what isn't speculation is the fact that the Maple Leafs are finalists for Nikita Zadorov, and I wouldn't be surprised if a deal gets done over the next few weeks, depending how long the Flames want to hold out, because as it says here, they're in no rush to offload the 28-year-old. But let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are on this. And again, the reports continue to escalate. More and more reports are coming out each day. I'm going to have you covered with each and every one, especially as a package starts to become public about what kind of players the Flames are looking to acquire. Again, we know probably more NHL-ready players, or at least prospects that are NHL-ready and can help them. So who knows? Let me know in this comment section, who would you give up for Nikita Zadorov? Thank you guys for watching. And also let me know if you think the Canucks can outbid the Leafs. Cheers.